So, hello and welcome to round 7 of Academy Series in 2025 here at Circuit Ricardo Tormo in Spain, Valencia. I am Kert Rohtjarv, as always, joined by Lorenzo Eterovich Funcic and Remco de Zeeuw, as always. Not Lorenzo, of course, but Remco, as always. Hello, Lorenzo.
Hello, Kert, and yes, I will be replacing Domenico Scarpelli, the usual partner of Kert for Academy Series broadcast. It was a bit of a last-minute draft. I was supposed to be driving today, but I wasn't really confident in everything, so I think it would be safer for everyone if I was here today. And yeah, I think that even though we have the smallest attendance of the season yet, only 15 people or 14. I saw that Alexander Radetzky was having some issues with being visible to other drivers, so hopefully he gets that fixed before everything. But yeah, I still think that we're going to have a good race. I think this is a very good track, and I'm excited to see what happens today.
Yeah, definitely. Two races here, both 15 laps. And yeah, of course, would be really exciting to see what will happen because race one, well, well, technically it isn't too interesting most of the time, but maybe there's a lot of action, but rather race two has much more action than race one. It usually does. But yeah, let's not forget the fact that I almost forgot to show up. So yeah, that was lucky not to let Lorenzo alone here. So
Yeah, I think in the end everything is gonna go well. And we see already qualifying has started. Some drivers are already out on their outlaps. We are currently on board with Alex Day, who, a bit of oversteer, corrects it, but it's only the outlap, so it doesn't matter as much. But I will say that in these last couple of races, Alex Day has been one of the better performers. If I can just pull up the spreadsheet for Academy really quickly. Yes, there we go. He has gotten top 10 in the last two rounds in both races. He got 4th in race 1 at Suzuka and 7th in race 2, and then at Imola also 4th place and 6th in race 2. So definitely one of the better performers recently in the Academy series, and I think today we'll be expecting, with the lack of attendance, to be even more successful, and I think that he'll be hoping as well that if he does well enough today that he might get himself a shot at the Academy Series team in Formula Sprint 2, as we see him start his lap. And I think turn 1 here gonna be a good overtaking spot in the race, but it's gonna be really crucial to nail it here in qualifying. It looks like he got it pretty well. Turn 2 is a bit of a nerve-wreck, at least for me, a bit of a slow hairpin. I struggled here to find when to get on the throttle early enough to get a good exit. I think Alex has got it well, a little bit of a slide there. He does set purple sector 1 so far, 27.0, and I think that he might be one of the contenders for pole position today, Kurt.
yeah, for sure. As I said, Alex's results every round have improved, and yeah, I think it's really clearly to see that he is improving quite well. And yes, as you said, pole position isn't too far, as it seems here to be totally under control of the car, but also seems that the car is really unstable on him. So yeah, let's see how.
Oh,
and commentators curse once more, but yeah, really interesting talent. So yeah, it will be a matter of time when we see him in FS2 already.
and I think that that lap could have definitely been better for him at 27.7. I think that might be one of his better laps, at least from my conversations prior with him. and he's still currently on pole, but I think going off in turn 13 and turn 12 there on the lap might have cost him some valuable tenths, valuable hundredths maybe even. And there's still 11.5 minutes left, but I don't know, maybe. It all depends. As you see, Alessandro Iannone now rounding the final turn, the Curva Adrian Campos. He did set green sectors half a second up and 0.2 up in sector 1 and 2 respectively, and he'll only be able to set a 28.029, good enough for third place. He did set a purple sector 3. Victor Bernat now, currently on board with him. His home race, he's already done the Formula Sprint 2 race at Barcelona and at Suzuka, and he admittedly he hasn't done as well as he could have. A bit of a slider on entry into Curva Adrian Campos. He did go green in both sectors, but will that be enough to go into the top 3? And it will be enough for pole position. Victor Bernat in his home Grand Prix for Academy Series on pole position provisionally, 27.138. Although, as we say that, Alex Day already gets him off the top spot with a 26.646.
Yeah, I was about to say that Alex Day actually made a mistake in Sector 3 beginning, so it will be no time that he gets that provisional pole position back. But yeah, seems like Alex Day has it all under control for now, and maybe anyone can stop him. But it's a maybe, so it's not for certain. But right now it seems quite clear to me.
Yes, and we see that only the top 3 are within 1 second of the pole lap time. So that would be Alex Day, Victor Bernat, and Sergei Soroka. David Junt currently... Well, commentators, because before we could even say anything, David Junt goes a bit wide on exit of turn 12, the Curva Champiereros, and unfortunately loses the car, and he was faster on that lap than his previous one, but unfortunately after that spin, I think that he will be looking for another chance. Hopefully his tires didn't overcook, and he does set a lap time. I don't think he set a lap time before that one, actually, just noticing. And currently 10.8 seconds off, but there's still 9 minutes exactly left in the session, and I think he'll definitely set a faster lap than that. Sergei Soroka now on board with him, 4/10 slow in sector 1, but 2/10 up in sector 2. Will that be enough for him to improve? 27.4 remains in P3. Improved lap time, not improved position. Now goes down to 7/10 behind pole position Alex Day.
Yeah, but he is Victor Bernat, and already it seems like Sector 1 is yellow, so not even his personal best, neither the qualifying session's best. But let's see, maybe he can improve, and maybe he can battle for Alex Day for the personal pole position, as we now see he's 1 1/4 tenths down yet on Alex Day, so it's definitely possible. So let's see, now going into Curva Adrian Campos. If he nails it, then there is a chance. Yeah, it doesn't improve. So yeah, it was quite close, but yeah, I think he can go faster.
I think as we hop on board with Sergei Soroka, the Curva Adrian Campos here is going to be crucial. It's a downhill corner, it's blind, you can't really see the entry, so you have to brake without really knowing when to brake, and I think Sergei Soroka did it well. Goes faster still, 27.329, but still not enough to improve his position. Goes down to 6/10 behind pole position now, but still in P3 as we go on board with Alfie Denley, one of 2 people yet to set a lap with Marc-Anthony Resenayaga. He's 0.063 tenths faster in sector 1 and 1/10 faster in sector 2, going into the Curva Adrian Campos. I think he might be on for a very, very good lap here, and I think he might be able to break into the top 3. Let's see, 125, 126, gonna be tight, 127.442. Just outside of the top 3.
Yeah, really close between Alfie and Soroka. So yeah, Alfie already looked really unstable with the car in Sector 3, so maybe he now understands how the car wants to work, so he gets the rhythm now, so maybe he can get himself to the front row or second row. Well, he's in the second row, but maybe V3.
As we see Miro Rigibi improving his lap time, and I think improving his grid position as well. He did a 127.4, I think that was. As we see Alfie Denlin now setting the purple Sector 1. 0.088 up on the fastest Sector 1 of the session so far. And I think he'll be approaching the Sector 2 line now. He's 3 tenths down. So whatever time he gained, he lost immediately in Sector 2, which is a bit more twisty. But Sector 3 is where it all really matters, because it's the most technical part of the track, with the Curva Adrian Campos and the Curva Champiereros before it. Will he be able to gain back those 3 tenths he lost in Sector 2? I do have a feeling that unfortunately he will not be, as you see Andrea Iannone, meanwhile, going up to P6, and no, Alfie Denley did have his lap time invalidated because he did go off a bit more than he should have outside of the Curva Champiereros. As you see, Martin Reitberg currently P9, 6 tenths up in Sector 2, but 8 tenths down exactly in Sector 1. Will he be able to improve his lap time and all grid position? I do not think he will be able to. He lost a lot of time. He lost 2.8 seconds in Sector 3. And unfortunately, I think that Martin Reitberg, he will be going for another attempt.
I think he can make it, yeah. But here is Victor Bernat. Seems to be improving on his lap, but almost and lost it. Oh, all 4 tires off the ground, so yeah. But then
Commentator's curse.
Yeah, it's quite a strong thing, so rather not have any commentators. Maybe it is better.
We just have the stream music playing in the background, but yes, Victor Bernat, unfortunately, he was a bit up in Sector 2. Alex Day, who set the purple Sector 2 as well, lost it in the Curva Andrea Campos. And as I said, Sector 3 is the most technical part of the track, definitely, with the Curva Champiereros and the Curva Adrian Campos. A blind uphill corner and a blind downhill corner. Alfie Denley almost losing it on exit of turn 1, going into the hairpin of turn 2. I think that slight loss of control on exit of turn 1 is going to be detrimental to his lap time here, although he will have time for one more lap. Ooh. Just a bit wide there. He's sliding car and he lost control of the car.
Attempt. But here is Sergei Soroka, really impressive Sector 1, under 1/10 of a second slower than Alex Day. So let's see what happens in Sector 2. This is still competitive for that provisional pole position.
I think Sergei Soroka might have a shot, as you say, at provisional pole position, but I think more likely for him would be P2. I unfortunately do not think he will be able to find the time in the little 2.5 minutes of qualifying we have left for pole position, although saying that he's 0.06 up in Sector 1 and 0.027 up in Sector 2. Curva Adrian Campos taken very well, and now he's just getting the power at the right time so we can get across the line. And 126.8, he does go second, 2 tenths behind pole position Alex Day, and as I said, good enough for P2 but not good enough for P1. Alessandro Iannone approaching Sector 3 slowly but surely, 2 tenths down, almost 3 in Sector 1, and I don't think he will be able to improve his lap time unless before I finish the sentence, he gains back all the time he lost in Sector 1, in Sector 2, and now Sector 3 is going to be crucial for him. Wide on exit of turn 12, and I think he might have had to lift off a bit to not get his lap invalidated. And no, I don't think. Yeah, invalidated lap time, unfortunately, for Alessandro Iannone.
It's only one chance left now, so. But yeah, Sergei Soroka again. It seems to be, unfortunately, not improving, trying to find some more time during this lap to battle with Alex Day, but it seems to be just slipping out of his hands now. But he can go for one more try.
And he most definitely will have to do it on this lap, because he only has under a minute left, 45 seconds exactly. And he did go green in Sector 3 there, but he did go yellow in the previous 2 sectors, so that doesn't really matter. Going into turn 2 looks very well taken on the accelerator very, very early, or at least when the time should be right.
Ooh, a bit wide there.
Arguably, I think that was pretty well taken, and it does go 0.03 faster in Sector 2. But will he be able to find the 2 tenths he needs to get P1 in Sector 2 and Sector 3? I think it is possible, but one thing is to say it, the other is to do. And I do wonder if he'll be able to do it. Looking at Sector 2, 1/10 down, and I don't think he'll be able to find 3 tenths in Sector 3 unless he manages to unlock some magic shortcut, and I think Sergei Soroka recognizes that the fight is over and he doesn't finish his lap time. Marc-Anthony Rassanayagan, 4 tenths down he was in Sector 1, but 3 tenths up in Sector 2. So he could be improving his lap time depending on how he took Sector 3. And he does, 27.933, moves up to P8 as well. And I think now we have Alex Day still, who's done yellow Sector 1 and Sector 2, slow in both. But he's still going to be setting this lap time. I think he's taking this more as a practice lap than an actual hot lap. And I think Alex Day is confident that he'll be in pole position. He's just taking the chance here to... No, he's just taking a chance to brag, it seems. He sets purple Sector 3. A 0.000 gap to the previous fastest Sector 3, so definitely some bragging rights there. And I think we just saw someone jump major. I think that was Haruki Jr.
Bernat goes P2.
No, Victor Bernat goes P2, yeah. And that's upsetting that we managed to see Victor Bernat's lap. We were too focused on Alex Day's Sector 3, but we did not take notice of Victor Bernat still setting his lap time. But yeah, Victor Bernat in second place, and I think Karen has done the laps. And as we see here, Alex Day takes pole position for the Academy Series Spanish Grand Prix at Ricardo Tormo. Victor Bernat on his home race, second place. Sergei Soroka in third, and Alfred Enlil in fourth. Haruki Jr. and Tino Curtis make up row 3 in 5th and 6th respectively. Alessandro Iannone and Miro Regibi in 7th and 8th. Marc-Anthony Rassanayagan and David Junt in 9th and 10th. And then rounding up the rest of the grid outside of the top 10, we have Diogo Meneghetti in 11th, Martin Reisberg in 12th, Jerome Berg in 13th, and Giovanni Felipe in 14th.
Well, very interesting qualifying session. What do you think? Of course, it seemed all under control for Alex Day, as I said, already quite early on into the session. So, yeah, 2 tenths faster than anyone, and top 3 separated by 2 tenths. And Alfred Enlil is 8 tenths of seconds slower than the top 10 Alex Day in P1. So, yeah, really interesting, and we could see a really interesting battle for P1 between the first 3 places.
I will say that it is interesting that the top 6 is all within 1 second. However, only the top 3 are within half a second. So I think that we definitely see who are the faster drivers here in qualifying and who is going to be the more, well, I can't really say that, but I think we can already see a bit of a pattern in who will be competing for the win. And I think Alex Day, Victor Bernat, Sergi Soroka, I think this is their races to take. Alfie Denley, he's definitely going to be there. Haruki Jr., I think he'll be definitely wanting to repeat his accomplishments from Imola in winning the race, at least one. Tina Curtis was also impressive at Imola. She got a podium in race 1, if I remember correctly, but unfortunately suffered a collision in race 2 and finished in 17th, I think. Mira de Gibi also had a good round at Imola. Mark Anthony Rasanayagam, if I remember correctly, did not compete. David Yunt is always there and about. He's mostly more competitive in race 2, however, he has shown that he can do well in race 1 as well. As for the rest of the grid, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do. I think we have only one debutant in Giovanni Felipe, and I think everyone else is already done at least one round of Academy Series before. So yeah, as we see, looking at race view, I mentioned Alexander Radetzky having issues with being visible to other drivers. I see him joining this. Someone is having fun in the pit lane. But as I was saying, I saw Alexander Radetzky on race view for the race server joining again, so hopefully he has managed to fix his issue, and hopefully we will see 15 drivers on the grid today.
Yeah, Alexander Radetzky was going in and out throughout the qualifying session, so it may be fixed now, maybe not. So yeah, we are not sure. We have no info on that, but let's hold fingers crossed that he can make it to the grid and race safely. As me and Lorenzo take a quick rebriefer to be back for race 1. And we are back for now. We are ready for race 1. We have got some oxygen once more in our lungs, so yeah, we are ready to lose our voices for the action in race 1. And yeah, it will be even worse in race 2, I think. But yeah, let's see. Time will tell. And yeah, we have 15 drivers actually, which is weird, because here in Academy we have a rule that top 15 will be reversed. So we have exactly 15 drivers. So yeah, it will be, I think, first time we've had something like this. Or not. I am not sure.
I would say that this would have happened more often in 2022 and 2023. I remember looking through some old Academy Series results while I was looking for inspiration on which tracks to suggest, because I was asked by Menno Klont if I would be willing to suggest some tracks that I would like to see on the Academy calendar. I did mention Ricardo Tormo because I do recall Academy never driving on the track. And I think this is the first GPVWC event in history on this track, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
Either way, I do
don't know
remember seeing
myself either.
some older GPVWC Academy Series events where there would be like 11, 12 drivers, and it's definitely not the first time I've had a grid this small, but knowing how big the grid can get, we had 32 people at Istanbul Park this season, so to see the attendance drop from above 30 to 15 in 3 rounds is not really nice to see, but I think that with summer around the corner as well, we are in May already. Wow, time flies by. I think we'll be seeing more new people, especially, joining the Academy series, and I think, and I do hope, that we will be seeing more drivers who potentially, along the line, will make a name for themselves in the career ladder as well.
Yeah, of course in Academy it's yeah, it's a common notice that in summer we will have a we won't have really much drivers, which is with my 2 years of experience now, I have seen it now 2 years that in the summertime we just lose so much drivers that almost anyone isn't driving. But as we go on the formation lap now for race 1.
Graphic. Would you like to take this, Kert, or?
I can take it. So, row 1.
Whoa.
Okay then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here is Alexei, who is starting from P1. I almost crashed out, but yeah, lucky not to do that. But second is Victor Bernat, third Sergei Soroka, fourth Alfie Denby, fifth Haruki Jr., sixth Peter Curtis, seventh Alessandro Ione, eighth Miro Reguivi, ninth Mark Anthony Rasanayagam, 10th David Jant, 11th Diogo Meneghetti, 12th Martin Rietberg, 13th Jerome Berg, 14th Giovanni Felipe, and 15th Alexander Radetsky, who seems to have fixed his problems and is starting from the pit lane.
He has indeed fixed his problem, and he will be starting from the pit lane. Unfortunate, of course, not to have seen him in qualifying. I think Alexander would have been in or around the top 5, because I do recall seeing him do some fairly good lap times on the public practice server, and I do think that he'll be able to do a pretty good recovery drive from the pit lane, or at least I would hope so, because it would definitely make for a more entertaining race, and I think we will have an entertaining race today. A new track in some cars that are very interesting to drive, for sure. And although the grid is fairly small, I think we will be seeing some very, very good action because there's some good overtaking spots on the track. Turn 1, turn 13, turn 2. And we will all see whether that will come true, as I see Victor Bernat being a bit more eager on the start there, and he gets the jump on Alex Day. And I think Sergei Soroka might be able to get the jump on him as well. Going down the inside, no, Alex Day sticks it off the outside and managed to keep the P2, and now Alfie Denley is going to be looking to take P3 from Sergei Soroka. Sticks is still on the outside, he's going to have the inside line for turn 4, but it's not quite there. Yes, Sergei Soroka got the overlap and he gets P3 for now. Haruki Jr. now battling with Alfie Denley. Slight contact, nothing major. But Haruki Jr. now up
Here is P4 once more. And contact again.
Still slight contact, but they're still keeping it mostly clean. And this is a great battle we have already for P4 between Haruki Jr. and Alfie Denley. The top 3, however, due to this have already peeled off pretty decent.
Alfie!
Alfie Denley in the wall.
Alfie's wall in the wall, yeah.
Alfie Denley, I think we have our first DNF of the race already as well on lap 1, unfortunately.
Can he move
I
it?
think... Oh, Alex Day!
Oh,
Alex Day spun out!
Yeah,
I think Alex Day took too much curb on the exit of turn 12, and now we see yellow flags in sector 2. I think that's still Alex Day, as Victor Bernat now has a massive 2-second gap over Sergei Soroka in P2. But this means Haruki Jr. now moves up to P3 by doing almost nothing. And Tina Curtis makes the move on Alessandro Iannone.
Yeah,
as I see the replay on what happened between Alfie Denley and Haruki Jr., I think there was some slight contact.
Yeah, I think we have to go on board to see it better. Trackside it's not really nice to see.
And we're on board with Alfie Denley. Doesn't look like there was any contact, no, just unsettled the car on the curb, and I think he just decides to...
Something really weird there. Like, he didn't take too much curb, but yeah, the car unsettled so suddenly. But here's Alex Day, too wide, a bit
clips
of
the gravel.
Yeah.
Clips the gravel, taps the wall. He's definitely going to have slight suspension damage due to that, but I think he'll be able to continue, albeit way down the order as to what he was expecting. And confirmation there that Alfie Denley is indeed our first DNF, as we see Sergei Soroka. Very questionable there. Didn't hold the brakes for a split second, but managed to hold them in time and avoided a much bigger incident. And Sergei Soroka, the top 3 are dropping like flies today. Victor Bernat is the only person so far inside the top 3 to have not done a major mistake, and now he's got a 5-second gap due to it.
Yeah,
as we see Alessandro Iannone battling with Diogo Meneghetti, and that's a great move by Alessandro Iannone down the outside of Diogo Meneghetti. As we see Tina Curtis battling with Mira Reggibi for P3 as well. Alessandro Iannone loses P6 to Diogo Meneghetti. Very, very good battle here between these two. I think this is a very... Alessandro Iannone, a bit more speed carried through the turn there, had to lift off a slight bit not to bump draft, you could say, Diogo Meneghetti, and I think he'll be aiming for a move into this hairpin here. No, he will be too far away. Oh no! Oh no! Alessandro Iannone. And he someone
was right there.
Overestimated.
Yeah, well, something's really going on.
Alex Day spins.
Yeah.
Alex Day tried to stick to the inside of Sergei Soroka, try and line up a move into this hairpin. But unfortunately, I think there was some slight contact and Alex Day lost control of the car and spun around. Unfortunately for him, was able to save it in time before losing any major positions. And we see here the biggest gainer of the races so far, Jerome Berg and Alexander Radetzky. 6 positions gained, both of them, with Alex Day the biggest loser so far with 11 positions lost.
Yeah.
I've seen Martin Reitberg now lining up a move on Jerome Berg, goes wide though out of turn 1. I think he'll still try for a move here, no, too far away. Alexander Radetzky though is looking to get in the action here and try and gain 2 positions.
Yeah, this track is like cursed, so really good track choice, I must say, Lorenzo.
As you see, Victor Bernard has already just ran away with the victory, it seems, with a 9-second gap. However, there's a big battle for P2 here. Haruki Jr., Tina Curtis and Mira Ragibi, all within a second of one another. And David Junt is not far away as well. And I think there's going to be a great battle here. Tina Curtis might line up a move into turn 12. Is that the smartest idea? She gets it done before turn 12. No, she doesn't. Haruki Jr. keeps it there, goes in the gravel a little bit, and I think that was 3 wide for a second there, with David Junt also being there. And Haruki Jr. loses another place to Mira Ragibi. That was Mira Ragibi in the yellow car. And now he's P3, and David Junt hasn't gained anything yet. However, it looks like, Haruki Jr. thought of making it 3 wide there. Mira Ragibi, slight oversteer, corrects it. Haruki Jr. on the outside of Tina Curtis now. Tina Curtis looking to go down the inside of Mira Ragibi, and she's still somewhat there, as is Haruki Jr. Clips the curve a bit, Tina Curtis does. Has to back up Haruki Jr., and that's very aggressive defending there from Tina Curtis. Although Haruki Jr. makes a stick. Haruki Jr. makes a stick, but I think he just wasn't happy there with how Tina Curtis defended. Gives her a bit of, you could say, her own medicine, although that would be very mean to say. But there was definitely some contact there, and Tina Curtis into the gravel and loses out on the battle for the podium. Haruki Jr. now in P3, chasing down Mira Ragibi, although he still has David Junt, and now Diogo Meneghetti on his tail, as David Junt lines up on the inside of Haruki Jr. through that hairpin of turn 11.
This contact.
Contact there through turn 12. They keep it on track though, very good control from both drivers there.
No, they
don't. I spoke too early. They go wide, and Diogo Meneghetti gains 2 positions in 1 turn. I think Haruki Jr. pleased. Haruki Jr. definitely not pleased. He's squeezing David Junt, and I do understand him. However, I don't think that's the right course of action. He does get the overlap on David Junt and keeps P4 for now. Although David Junt will definitely be looking to get that place back soon. Very close to contact there. Fortunately enough, still clean. I need
it. Seems like Haruki Jr. isn't really happy about it. What David Junt did, just David a bit too late on the brakes and just hits Haruki Jr. But really lucky them both to still keep the car straight. So the battle continues.
The battle does indeed continue. And David Junt very late lunged there, although I don't think he was aiming for an overtake just yet. I think he's setting himself up for the hairpin that is turn 11, and I think he'll be on the inside of Haruki Jr. here. Yes, Haruki Jr. loses control the slightest bit of the car, and David Junt now into P4, although Haruki Jr. is still there, and he uses those curbs to his advantage. I think there was a bit of contact there, at least from the angle that we're looking at between David Junt and Haruki Jr. And Haruki Jr. reclaims that P4 just for now. Down the straight, this is going to be a massive drag race between them two. David Junt cuts across Haruki Jr. there, and I don't think that was particularly sportsmanlike of David Junt. He keeps P4 for now, and Haruki Jr. goes a bit wide of exit of turn 1 there, and David Junt for now keeps P4, although this constant battling has brought Tina Curtis back to the battle, as I see another battle here, Jerome Berg battling with Alexander Radetzky, Sergei Soroka here as well, right in front. And Martin Reitberg and Alex Day is charging back up. He might be lining up an overtake on the outside. No!
Another
Loses
spin.
control of the car. And the growl keeps him off the track. Fortunately enough, not a bigger collision there. And Alex Day drops back down to 14th place. And Marc-Antoine Rassenayagam seems to have passed Giovanni Felipe in all of that. And Marc-Antoine Rassenayagam moves to P12 from P14, it seems.
Yeah,
Alex Day not having the greatest of days, and I think he might be suffering from more than just slight suspension damage. We see, oh yeah, look at the steering wheel.
Yeah, that's
steering wheel at a very uncomfortable angle, and I think the suspension damage.
That's why his car is so easily to spin around. That's why. Oh, there's contact. Oh, David catches the drift. But yeah, really lucky there again.
Really lucky there for David. You clipped the front left wheel of Haruki Jr. with his front right. No, apologies, with his rear right. And I guess he didn't expect Haruki Jr. to try and keep it stuck around the outside. He expected him to back out. But Haruki Jr. refused to. And Haruki Jr., although he did go wide out of turn 1, kept the position. David Junt saved the car. However, he did lose 2 places to Tina Curtis as well as Haruki Jr. And we see Diogo Meneghetti up ahead has been caught up by the pack. Behind him, Haruki Jr. Tina Curtis more close to Haruki Jr. Thought about making a move there, but it wasn't quite close enough. I think he'll be aiming to line up something for turn 1 or potentially turn 12. No, turn 13. Oh,
Meneghetti makes a mistake.
Meneghetti clips the gravel, and Haruki Jr.
Oh, Meneghetti goes wide.
Takes it down the inside. Tina Curtis looks to bounce on it as well. And I think she's going to be using the slipstream here to try and get past Meneghetti. Although Meneghetti gets the slipstream, Haruki Jr. very aggressive defending there from Jr. I think Meneghetti is going to get past Jr. here. Yes, he is. And Tina Curtis might be looking to get involved here. Haruki Jr. locks up but manages to avoid contact with Diogo Meneghetti.
Oh, that's contact.
As there's contact, fortunately enough.
Don't go very wide, please.
And Haruki Jr. and Diogo Meneghetti still side by side. Bit aggressive there. But Haruki Jr. makes it stick in P3. Diogo Meneghetti now in P4, and Tina Curtis thought about getting that P4. However, she's now lost P5 to David Junt, and as I say that, David Junt drops down to P7. Sergei Soroka out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, really big fight for P3 still. So, as Victor Bernat leads by 20 seconds, so yeah. Dominant.
Very dominant performance here from Victor Bernat in his home Grand Prix. Fortunately enough, we are keeping ourselves occupied with this massive battle for P3, as Miro Regibi has also peeled away into P2 with a massive gap. Haruki Jr. and Diogo Meneghetti there, very aggressive. Haruki Jr. squeezing Meneghetti on the inside, trying to make him to bail. And Tina Curtis makes it 3 wide into turn 1. And there's contact. Curtis and Meneghetti spuns around, and that drops them both down to P7 and PA respectively. And that's always going to happen. That's always going to happen if you're trying to make it 3 wide into an almost flat out corner, as Martin Reitberg forces a move on Jerome Berg, and that wasn't a particularly clean move, as Martin Reitberg is now defending from Marc-Antoine Rassenayagam, who tries to make it down the inside but is unsuccessful. Martin Reitberg still in P10, although it does not feel like a deserved pass for P10 from my point of view. Jerome Berg though, looking to get back to Martin Reuteberg. He's gonna try and make a move on Marc-Anthony Rassenayagam here down the inside. Slight bit of contact. Jerome Berg didn't brake hard enough, or well, blocked his brakes. Rassenayagam lost a bit of control, but Jerome Berg makes a stick for P11. And now he's going to chase down Martin Reuteberg, because you see up ahead, Alessandro Iannone.
Yeah, David Junt.
That was David Junt. David Junt a bit uneasy on entry into the final turn. The Curva Adrian Campos, as we see Sergei Soroka now taking advantage of that and trying to move into P4 down the inside here, and he does make a stick. And Alexander Radetzky was thinking of following through with Sergei Soroka. However, Sergei Soroka a bit loose on exit of turn 1 there, and David Junt is still there. And it's some good back racing for today's race. Haruki Jr. now seems to have taken advantage of the battle for P4. Has got a bit of a gap, not big, however, not small either. 2 or so seconds, 1.5 ahead of Sergei Soroka. And David Junt seems to have made a mistake, because he's dropped back massively on Sergei Soroka. And Alexander Radetzky now might be thinking of a move into the hairpin here, Kurt.
Yeah, maybe it is because of that as well. Oh, Radetzky's round. Yeah, so many spins. It's like the track is cursed. Like only one retirement, but so much spins and everything.
I think that was more so on Radetzky than it was on Junt. Soroka? Radetzky thinking of a move into a gap which is closing, and that was never going to work. Yeah. Sergei Soroka though now gaining with slipstream on Haruki Jr. and I think he wants that podium definitely more so than Haruki Jr. because I think this, as it stands, is Sergei Soroka's best result in Academy. And I think he would like it to be one more position, to be on the podium for the first time in the Academy series, and I think with 4 laps to go, he does have a very good chance.
It does, but yeah, they are very close, and Sergei Soroka is thinking when to overtake, and it goes a bit wide. But yeah, I would suggest him turn 1, but because yeah, other corners are so dangerous, as we've seen them before already. So, and now Haruki Jr. makes a mistake, and here goes Sergei Soroka. Oh.
Very questionable there. Sergei Soroka did go for a gap again that is closing. Haruki Jr.
I closed the door in final second.
Oh! Haruki Jr. I guess didn't expect Sergei Soroka to try and go for that gap and took the corner as he would normally. However, still, if you have mirrors, you should use them. I learned that the hard way at Suzuka. And Sergei Soroka now trying to get the slipstream off of Haruki Jr. As we see Jr. weaving down the straight to try and break the toe. Although I don't think that's worked, as Sergei Soroka is looking to go down the outside. Not quite close enough. He'll try and make it stick for the inside. Again, not quite close enough. He's gonna have to... Unsettled there Haruki Jr. was for a second. And Sergei Soroka had to take evasive action. Yeah, he didn't lose much time. In fact, I think he gained more time than he lost. But that still had made him slow down a bit more than he anticipated. And I think that's slower bringing in Tina Curtis as well. Although I think Tina Curtis currently has bigger issues behind her than in front of her. David Junt closing down slowly. And we still have that battle for P3. And we have a battle for P5 as well. Tina Curtis in a sandwich of battles here, and she could either win or lose depending on her luck. As we see Sergei Soroka trying to make something work here, not quite.
Haruki Jr. is wide again there.
Haruki Jr. is abusing the AstroTurf here into turn 12 and turn 13 as Sergei Soroka gets more speed, although goes wide. He does go wide, although he had more speed on entry of the turn there. As we see, yellow flags in sector 3.
Not
I think
sure who
everything
that
is
was.
clear. Sergei Soroka trying to get the side draft off of Haruki Jr. It's not quite working. Davin Tunt. Oh! Diogo Meneghetti. Oh!
Yeah. Oh,
Still
he-
in the gravel, and I think he might lose P7 to Alessandro Iannone. No, Iannone not close enough. I do wonder what happened there between David Junt and Diogo
looks like
Meneghetti. Was
Diogo.
there contact?
Diogo like lost it himself.
Was that an odd angle for
Yeah,
us? And
yeah.
yeah, he lost it.
Really lucky
Unsettled rear
not
end.
to hit the barrier there.
The gravel definitely helped,
Yeah.
but
got
very
the
unfortunate
car.
for Diogo there.
Yeah. He got the car really quickly. So, yeah, well done. Not to end up in the barriers.
As we go back to live action now on the final lap, Victor Bernat is going to be crossing the line fairly soon. I think, no, he has just started the final lap. That's how far ahead he is of everyone. 22 seconds the gap between P1 and P2. Dominant drive from Victor Bernat here. Yellow flags in sector 3. Hopefully it's not anyone that is battling for positions. It's David Junt. David Junt is dropping down. I've seen that. Oh! What happened to David Junt?
Something's wrong. He's not giving any... Okay. Okay, weird.
Something...
Yeah.
Something appears very wrong with David Junt's car, and he's going to pit lane.
Yeah,
on the last lap, unfortunately, he's pitting, and David Junt, after some great battles today, unfortunately, I think he will be retiring.
Yeah.
And he'll have to get his chance back in race 2 again. As you see Victor Bernat around the final turn to cross the line in dominant fashion. From turn 1 to the finish line, this man led the entirety of the race. And I think that's a very well-deserved victory. Although moving on from that, there's a big battle here for P3. Haruki Jr., Sergei Soroka and Tino Curtis all here battling for that final podium position.
Running out of options.
I think Haruki Jr. might just be able to clinch this. Sergei Soroka was aiming for something there, although not quite close enough, and I think it will remain the way it is currently. Haruki Jr. in P3, Sergei Soroka P4, and
oh, Radetzky P7.
Oh, Tino Curtis P5, Iannone P6, Radetzky P7, and Marc Anthony Rasenayagam DNFs.
Ooh.
Oh!
There's a car on fire. Oh, someone spun. And yeah, it's post-race, so these things happen. It's common.
And I think everyone's crossed the line. I would like to see what happened to David Junt. Did he lose control, or was there contact between himself and...
Okay, yeah.
And he hit someone else. That was... Yeah. Was that Alexander Radetzky, I think it was?
Maybe. But yeah, David, like... Okay, it wasn't Radetzky, it seems. Oh, was it? Yeah, no,
I think clue. We've gone... Oh! Well, Radetzky did have a spin of his own.
Yeah.
And Martin Reitberg, it appears, had an incident as well. Is this related to Marc Anthony Rasenayagam's DNF, potentially? Is this him going wide? We might see something in the background. This is Diogo... Oh, it was Diogo Meneghetti and David Junt.
Yeah, it was...
Goes into the turn 2 aggressively, clips the curve a bit, and then clips Meneghetti. And I think that wasn't any major issues with David Junt. I think he could have definitely finished the race, sure, with some damage, but I don't think it was detrimental enough for him to not finish. I think he just felt upset at how his race went and decided to call it quits early and, I guess you could say a bit tactically, take a lower position in race 1 to have a better starting position in race 2. However, race 1, as we saw Victor Bernat win in dominant fashion, and Miro Rigibi in equally dominant fashion finishing P2. Haruki Jr. after a very eventful battle with Sergei Sorok and Tina Curtis beast into P3, as Sorok and Curtis finished 4th and 5th respectively. Alessandria None gets P6 with Alexander Radetzky in P7. Diogo Meneghetti after that contact with David Jung drops to P8 as Martin Reitberg and Jerome Berg, the two Dutchmen, round off the top 10 in 9th and 10th respectively. In P11 was Giovanni Felipe, the only debutant on the academy grid today. Marc-Antoine Rasaniagan, although he DNF'd, finished ahead of David Junt in P12, although it shows both Rasaniagan and Junt in P12. I don't know how that works, but
it's Junt ahead, it seems. And then Rasaniagan.
Yes, indeed, as I just checked on RaceView, Junt is classified ahead of Rasanayagan, so David Junt P12, Marc-Antoine Rasanayagan P13, Alex Day a lap down in P14, and Alfie Denley, who DNF'd on lap 1 in last place, although he will be getting reverse grip pole.
Yeah, at least a good thing for him, after a really early DNF, unfortunately. But yeah, race 1 already. I thought it wasn't going to be this exciting, but yeah, well, I guess I was wrong. But yeah, can't wait already for race 2, or what do you think?
Well, I think there's definitely going to be some, I guess you could say, bad blood between a couple of drivers on the grid. I think we'll definitely see some more fierce battles in race 2. I think we'll definitely see some more aggressive driving. Hopefully, that doesn't mean that the driving will also be less clean. But I think that we'll definitely have more battles and hopefully less DNFs in race 2.
Actually, I just noticed Riccardo Tomo has a corner named after Victor Bernat, actually. It's turn 8, Bernat Martinez.
Well, that's just cheating then.
Yeah. What an interesting coincidence. I just noticed. But yeah, as we said, can't wait for race 2, and we'll be back by then. And we are back once again for race 2 here in Circuit Ricardo Tormo here in Valencia. And yeah, after really exciting race 1, honestly, I do not know what to expect from race 2. Or what do you think, Lorenzo?
I think it's going to be a pretty eventful race. Of course, Alfie Denley, after crashing out on lap 1 of race 1, is going to be on reverse grid pole. And I think that might be interesting, not only because, well, we know Alfie Denley is a very good driver on his day when he has the motivation for it, but I did ask him in private after race 1 what happened to him in the race, and he said, and I quote, "I don't know, my car disappeared, so hopefully that issue has been fixed, and hopefully that doesn't happen again in race 2. It would be pretty unfortunate for both him and for anyone behind him if that turns out into a big crash." But yeah, Alfie Denley is going to be in P1. We're going to have David Junt in P4, and we're going to have Alex Day in P3 too. So, no, Alex Day is going to be in P2, isn't he? Yeah, P2. Oh, I forgot already. My god. Either way, there's going to be very good drivers because of reverse grid in the top 5, so I think we're going to have a very good race and hopefully a more clean and more aggressive one.
And he is Alfie Deadly, our reverse grid pole sitter. And Alex Day is second, so yeah, Alex Day dominated the qualifying, so let's see if Alex Day is able to win this time.
I think he has a good chance of doing it, in my personal opinion. I'm not sure why he's already on the grid. I think, is he the only person on the grid? No, I see a couple of people in the background, but I think we still have some time before we start with the formation lap.
Oh, he's yeah, moving on the grid because it's downhill, I guess.
It's not downhill, I think. Oh, there you go, as the formation lap starts for race 2. I don't think, even if it is, I don't think it's significant enough for the car to roll downhill. I think he was just doing stuff because it was boring for the formation lap. Although now that the formation lap has started, I think we can read out the grid for race 2, as we see already Alfie Denley in P1 and Alex Day, who nearly hit him there into turn 2 in P2. Mark Anthony Rasanayaga and David Junt, 2 purple cars in P3 and P4. Giovanni Felipe, the debutant in P5, Jerome Berg and Martin Whiteberg, 2 Dutchmen in P6 and P7. Diogo Meneghetti completes the Brazilian sandwich in P8, Alexander Radetzky in P9, Alessandria Nona in P10, and then the 2 green cars of Dina Curtis and Sergi Soroka in P11 and 12 respectively. Haruki Jr. after P3 in race 1 is in 13th for race 2. Mirori Gibi finished 2nd and is 14th, and race winner Victor Bernard, after dominantly winning race 1, will be hoping to do a bit of a last to first challenge here from P15. Unfortunately only 15 drivers, no last minute entries for race 2, and I think that's a great shame because this track, I know that a couple drivers after race 1 have been complaining that some of the curves are a bit of a bit murderous, and I know Alex Day mentioned to me privately that dirty air through turn 12 is really bad, but I still think that this is a great track, and I think we saw in the race as well with the amount of battles we had for P3 and P6 and P7 and P5 and so on and so forth, that this is a really good track for both lapping and for racing. I think for lapping the drivers will say more so than for racing, but since we're already here, let's go and race.
Yep, exactly. Oh, and Alex Day is, taking an interesting line on the main straight. That's 5 red lights, and let's go. And seems like Alex Day got a better start than Alfie Denley. Yes, he did. Now into turn 1 we go. Let's hope everyone gets through cleanly, and Alex Day gets the P1 position for now.
And Alex Day did take a bit of a tighter, I guess you could say, position on the grid slot. Marc-Anthony Rasaniagan goes deep into turn 2 and loses P3 immediately to David Junt. And is now going to be trying to hold on to that P4 with Jerome Berg right behind. He's holding up Diogo Meneghetti. Diogo Meneghetti is going to look to get past Jerome Berg as quickly as possible as well. As we see, Haruki Jr., Miro Ragibi, Victor Bernat have already all gained position. Sergei Soroka has dropped down to P15. He might have gone off wide into turn 1 or turn 2, one or the other, because he has dropped down a couple of positions. Alex Day loses the lead to Alfie Denley for a split second. And Alfie Denley and Alex Day are battling side by side through the hairpin. That is turn 11, and turn 12 is going to be very interesting here. These two drivers are fairly close friends, and so far it's clean.
Still side by side. Wow.
Very good racing immediately on lap 1, and David Junt is looking to get in on the action as well. Alfie Denley goes into the lead for now, although Alex Day is very close behind, and David Junt did have to drop off a bit there, and now he's closer to Marc-Anthony Rasaniagan than he is to the top 2, and Alex Day might try for a move on the outside of Alfie Denley here. No!
And still side by side.
Still side by side, although Alex Day did go a bit wide because he lost the tiniest bit of control over the car. And Alfie Denley is still in P1 for now. Alex Day is still very close, but so is David Junt, as we see yellow flags in sector 1. And I don't see anyone dropping down. And Victor Bernat has been stopped in his charge, it seems, and I think
Okay.
That's what happened there.
Yeah, we'll need to
What happened
see that
between
again.
Felipe and Bernat? Because we see Alexander Radetzky dropping as well. Something happened to Alexander Radetzky, and Sergei Soroka as well, now battling Alexander Radetzky. Would be nice if you could see a replay. There we go. Victor Bernat to 3 wide, and Victor Bernat, and a very ambitious dive bomb from Felipe, and
yeah.
Some birds and bees on screen here, and I think Victor Bernat very displeased. And
there's some miscommunication there. Who's going first?
I don't know. That looks intentional, at the same time doesn't look intentional. I don't know. I think Felipe very obviously at fault here. Locks the brakes and then lets them go and just rolls the car into Bernat, and then just decides to try and become a Saiyan, I guess. And
I think, Bernat was quite pissed at him.
So. I think, objectively speaking, any driver would be upset about that. As you see, Victor Bernat has DNF'd. And David Junt and Alex Day both out of control for a second there. And Alex Day has lost a bit of time on Alfie Denley.
And Alex Day now wide.
As I see further back, Haruki Jr. is gonna be overtaking Jerome Berg for P8, and Miro Ragibi follows through with him as well, as Jerome Berg locked his brakes, although Jerome Berg is still there with Miro Ragibi, and he might be looking to defend the position on the outside. No, Miro Ragibi makes it stick on the inside, and that's a great battle between Ragibi and Berg there through that complex. Although big! Oh my god!
Oh.
What happened there? It looks like he just clipped a random bump and lost all control, and Jerome Berg DNFs.
Yeah.
That did not look like he sustained any major damage, or minor damage for that sake. He just
Okay.
overcorrected?
It didn't seem like it.
He just randomly steered to the right. For...
I think there's some technical difficulties with Jerome.
That
Something
could be...
definitely went wrong.
I think that is definitely an option, and unfortunate to see Jerome Berg DNF.
As also, meanwhile, David Hunt overtook Alex Day and then fell into P4. So, yeah, something has gone terribly wrong there as well.
And I think Marc-Anthony Rassanayagam, if he keeps this position to the end of the race, he will be very, very happy with himself. He is not only the first and currently only Sri Lankan driver in GPVWC, but if he keeps P3, he would be the first Sri Lankan driver as well too.
Oh, there was contact. Okay.
That was contact, and that was not the cleanest of moves, unfortunately, from Marc-Anthony Rassanayagam. That will definitely, or will hopefully, be reported post-race to the disciplinary committee.
Not Rassanayagam.
Oh, my apologies. But either way, I think that the disciplinary committee will definitely have their hands full with this race. As we see David Junt making an overtake on Marc-Anthony Rassanayagam fairly easily into turn 1. Although Rassanayagam is still there, and the Unknown seems to have made a move on the outside of Tina Curtis into turn 1 as well. And Curtis is still somewhat there, a bit wider on exit than the Unknown. And I think due to that she lost a bit of time, although she looks to have gained it back almost instantly.
So, but right now it's lap 5 or 15, and it's more quieter race than race 1 was. So, yeah, how the tables have turned.
Indeed, and as we see here, we have two drivers who have gained 5 positions from the start of the race, Haruki Jr. and Miro Rigibi, who seem to be following along with each other, forming a bit of a team it seems, although I don't think that's likely. And the biggest loser of the race so far, as we saw in the replay, Giovanni Felipe with the contact with Victor Bernat. And Miro Rigibi, as we see here, I think he would like to get past Haruki Jr. soon for P8. And is there any battles? As we see, Tina Curtis up ahead.
Oh, someone's in pit. Someone's gone in pit.
No.
I saw a car going into pit lane. Okay. Weird. I'm not schizophrenic or anything. I literally saw a car going into pit lane.
Either way, Alex Day has closed the gap on Alfie Danley after getting disposed of, you could say, of David Junt. And he was a bit sideways there, as David Junt is wide there. So any time that Junt could have gained through that corner, he has thrown away and lost more time. And Alex Day, he's very, very close to Alfie Danley here. He might be close enough for a move into turn 1 if he keeps this pace up, and he's definitely in his slipstream. He's not going to be close enough for a move before the final turn, or into the final turn either. Takes a bit more cautious of a line than Alfie Danley does through that complex of 12 and 13. And not close quite enough yet. He's in the slipstream right now though, and he's going to be going on the inside. No, Alfie Danley reads it and goes on the inside to defend. Alex Day is being pushed onto the grass by Alfie Danley. Not particularly clean defending by the Thai driver. Although Alex Day now switches to the outside, he might be trying to take the momentum. No! He does what Ricciardo is known for, switcheroo, and he takes the inside line there. Alfie Denley is still on the inside line though, and Alex Day nearly made that move stick, and that would have been a very wonderful move by Alex Day indeed for P1. Although he's still there, the battle is not over yet. 2 tenths separate them. Alfie Denley is going to be having to check his mirrors constantly, although if they keep battling like this, and if they don't work together, David Junt is going to be in on that battle as well. And I know what I'm talking about because I know Alex Day and Alfie Denley are very close friends, and I'm sure they would be communicating together during the race. So I think they know what they have to do to ensure that it's only them in the battle for P1 and that David Junt doesn't get involved.
But like this, or when they are battling, then David Junt is gaining a lot on them, so it will be a three-way fight for the lead. As already, David Junt is under second with Alex Day, so yeah, it will be even more exciting than it is right now.
As Alex Day gets enough speed through the slipstream to make a move on the outside of Alfie Denley. A bit unsettled look, both of them. Although Alex Day... Oh!
Here comes Alfie Denley. Does he make the move stick? Yes, he does.
Great dive bomb by Alfie Denley, and he was slightly tapped from behind by Alex Day, who didn't expect that move, it seems. As we are on board with David Junt, who has seen that move from very, very up close. He has now almost caught up to the rear wing of Alex Day.
Yeah, but yeah, really nice racing here, as we see from Alfie Denley and Alex Day. Both Alexes are driving like maniacs, to be fair. But yeah, as we see on board with David Junt, watching as the battle continues between the both Alexes. So yeah, and he'd love to be in the fight as well. But yeah, time will tell when he will caught up himself as well.
Speaking of battles, there's a big battle here for P9 as we see someone dropping.
Ooh.
Oh my god, that's Alessandro Iannone. Alessandro Iannone facing backwards out of turn 12, and that's a massive hazard on track. He's managed to spin it around facing the right way, but I think he's yet another victim of the curbs in turn 12 on exit and on entry, unfortunately. And ooh. Alex Day, almost bomb crafting Alfie Denley there.
Little contact there, yeah.
Utilizing some stock car techniques there, Alex Day is. And this battling, while entertaining definitely for us, for commentators and viewers, has allowed David Junt to make this even more entertaining. And I think Alex Day is definitely going to be wanting to get past Alfie Denley here as soon as possible. Regardless of their friendship now, I think both of them are aiming to get that first place, and I think that now all friendship falls in the water, and these last 5 laps are going to be all-out war between them.
Oh, Alfie's a bit wide there. They almost lost it, but all good.
Alex Day, not quite close enough yet. Oh, very ambitious Day. He thought about making something. He carried a bit more speed, I think, and he's still in the slipstream of Alfie Denley. And David Junt is in his slipstream as well, although both of them aren't close enough to the driver in front yet for a move. Alex Day is almost on the back of Alfie Denley. He's going to be thinking of a move down the inside here, not quite close enough. He backs out, very smart, avoiding a collision. I say very smart, but realistic, that should be basic racing instinct. Although that has allowed David Junt to close down more on him. And it seems like Alfie Denley has gained a bit more on Alex Day, although it might just be me.
Yeah, looks like the gaps the same between both Alex's and Alex and David, both 4 tenths of a second. So, yeah, really exciting. So now it's a slipstream train, as they call it. But yeah, David doesn't get that powerful of a slipstream than Alex does. But Alfie goes a bit wide in turn 12. And that gives another chance for Alex. He almost loses just the car unsettling a bit. And Jant has lost some time now to Alex. Both Alexes.
Alexis?
My bad.
Oh, Alex Day! Looked like he lost a bit of concentration there, as Alfie Denley seems to have as well. A bit loose on exit. Alex Day is going to look to capitalize on that. He was looking for another switcheroo here out of turn 2, but is not quite close enough to the back of Alfie Denley to try and do that overtake stick. And he's not quite there yet to make that move for P1, but he's running out of time. Not only are the laps ticking down, but David Junt is there and is ready to pounce on any mistake either one of them make.
At least it isn't the final lap of the race. So Alex Day has 5 laps of chances. And yeah, not really good camera to see Alex Day because the rear flap is covering Alex Day's car. So yeah.
He is very, very close on entry there into the last turn. He's still, well, not visible because of the rear wing, but I think he's still not quite close enough to try and make a move. Although saying that, that is a massive, massive amount of slipstream he just got off of Alfie Denley, and he goes into P1 temporarily, although Alfie Denley is definitely going to be looking to make that move on the inside, and he's going to make it stick. Alfie Denley immediately retakes the lead of the Grand Prix, although Alex Day is still there. Goes on the outside for turn 4 and does not make a stick. That is some great overtaking by both Alex Day and Alfie Denley. And David Junt is sat there thinking to himself, please one of them make a mistake, I want that P1. Although I think at this rate, neither of them are going to make a mistake because they're both so precise in their overtakes and their usage of slipstream, in where they want the car, how they want the car. Sure, they lose the back end slight bit as we saw with Alex Day there, but I think that's one of the things that's with this car fairly normal. As we see Alex Day getting more slipstream again off of Alfie Denley, he's going to have to move to the outside for this turn. Alfie Denley blocks off the inside and loses a bit of control there. As we see back Soroka Jr., Meneghetti dropping, Regibi gaining positions. And Diogo Meneghetti retires, yes, and we are so caught up in this amazing battle for P1 between Alex Day and Alfie Denley that we are not able to see what's going on in the back. Oh! And Alfie Denley hits Alex Day, and I was talking about David Junt waiting for a mistake, and he has waited out. With 3 laps left to go, Alfie Denley gives Alex Day a bit of a love tap on entry into turn 2. I think he locked his brakes, and Alex Day is sent spinning around, and David Junt is now battling Alfie Denley for P1, and Mark Anthony Rasanayagan moves into the podium positions again, and we see Haruki Jr., Tina Curtis all dropping, and there's yellow flags in sector 3 again, and I am curious to see what happened there because we were so caught up in that battle for P1, as I say again, that we weren't able to see what happened.
In turn 12.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they went, these green cars went side by side into turn 12, so...
That would be Meneghetti and Radetzky, I think. Because I did see Radetzky lose some positions as well, and...
Yeah. Haruki just doesn't have any time to react there. It's such a blind corner.
One of the cons of turn 12, as fun as it is to get right, if there's anything up ahead, you are just bound to lose everything. As we see David Junt, with 2 laps to go, moves into P1, although Alfie Denley is right there, and he makes that move. He loves that inside move into turn 2, he does, Alfie Denley. And we see yellow flags in sector 3 again, hopefully unimportant, and clears quickly. David Junt on the back of Alfie Denley still. And I think he's going to have to try and use up slipstream wherever he can in these remaining 1.5 laps to get past Alfie Denley, because Alfie Denley is putting on a massive defensive drive here. He has been overtaken a couple of times, but he immediately regains the position, and he does it usually in the same turn 2, as we see David Junt. Alfie Denley takes a wider line for this hairpin, and David Junt tries and make a stick on the inside, is not quite there, and pulls out before turn 12. He's going to try and use the slipstream down the front straight or down into the final turn. Takes a wider entry, hoping for a switcheroo or maybe move on the outside. Doesn't quite work yet.
There's
We're about to the end
Anthony
of the
Rasenagam as well.
Mark Anthony Rasenagam is there as well. He's gained a lot through the slipstream. Alfie Denley, as he crosses the line to start the final lap, pushes David Junt a bit on the grass. David Junt swerves across the track, clearly
Mark
unhappy.
Anthony is so wide.
Rasenagam goes wide into turn 1, and it feels like Alfie Denley is almost holding up David Junt for Rasenagam.
There's Alex Day already also not far from them.
Alex there indeed as well, already there. It was catching a bit. Oh, Rasenagam gets control of the car back in time, and Alex Day is now going to be all over him. And I think he might be able, with enough slipstream, to make that move for P3 into this hairpin. No, the space closes on him. He still has 1, maybe 2 more chances.
Side by side into the chicane.
Side by side, Rasenagam and Day. Day on the outside, Rasenagam on the inside. A slight bit of contact. Rasenagam pushes Day wide, and I think neither. Oh,
Alex Day is off.
Alex Day doesn't want to pull out of that battle and pays the price. Rasenagam gets P3, as we see. Alfie Denley and David Junt. This is going to be a drag race to the finish, and I think Alfie Denley is going to win it.
Finish there.
Oh, Alfie Denley wins it. Alfie Denley wins the race. Just slightly. As the hitbox there. Oh my god. As Rasenagam as well does a celebratory drift, and Alfie Denley, I think we had a couple of records here, although I could be very wrong, as Alfie Denley wins the race. David Junt in P2 and Anthony Rasenagam in P3. Let me just check if what I'm saying is correct.
I don't think Rasenagam has any podium finishes.
He does not. And Mark Anthony Rasenagam becomes currently, as it stands, the first Sri Lankan to gain a podium in any GPVWC race. Although the main star of the show here with his driving was Alfie Denley winning the race, David Junt in P2, Alex Day, after finishing P2, oh my god, I've lost all semblance of time. Alex Day gains P4 in this race, Alexander Radetzky P5, Sergei Soroka P6, Mira Regibi, Martin Reitberg, Alessandro Iannone P7, 8 and 9, and the debutant for today, Giovanni Felipe in P10. And unfortunately, the other 5 drivers, Tina Curtis, Haruki Jr., Diogo Meneghetti, Jerome Berg, Victor Bernard, all DNFs. And what I wanted to check was whether Alfie Denley becomes the first Thai driver to win a GPVWC event. And unfortunately for him, that would not be the case. He was beaten by Alessio Campogiotto last season in the Academy Series. Either way, Alfie Denley becomes the second Thai driver to win a GPVWC event. And actually, since there's only been 2 drivers from Thailand to ever compete in GPVWC, as it stands, Thailand appeared to be the only country to have been represented in GPVWC to have a 100% win record with all their drivers.
Yeah, that's a nice statistic.
Very interesting factoid. However, both of those race wins by Campogiotto and Denley came from the Academy Series, so not a career ladder series. Whether that makes the wins any less important or not, I think that's down to the people who are discussing this. But either way, very, very great race too. Some great battling for P1. There was some great battling in the back as well. Unfortunately, we were so caught up in that battle for P1 that we weren't able to see it. And I think watching that battle for P1, most of the race paid off because that was some very, very excellent racing.
Yeah, I agree. I would say now, both races were really exciting. But yeah, really much battles and much action. That's what we, us commentators, really love to cover. Us losing our voices, but yeah, really interesting day. Again in the office, and I didn't lose my voice, so that's a good thing. But yeah, nobody's waiting for an interview, which is interesting as well.
I do see Alex Day in the Academy lobby.
I think he's yeah, talking with his friends, not yeah.
Let me see if anyone would be interested for an interview. Would be nice. At the same time, would be good to let the voice rest a bit more.
Yeah.
And I think we give them a bit of time to see if anyone wants or doesn't want. And yeah. I think even though the attendance was small.
Denley has showed up.
Alfie Denley. And let's see what Alfie Denley would like to say for us.
Ben, you're doing the interview.
Hello, Alfie Denley. Welcome to the interview.
Yeah,
so, tell us how race 1. Well, we know race 1 what happened. You DNF'd in lap 1, but what happened there? Because it didn't look like you had any contact maybe with Alex Day entering the turn.
No.
And it just looked like a random failure.
Basically, I'm going through the corner, my car just disappears off my screen and I can't control it. That's it.
That I've never had that happen, so I can't really relate, but that's very unfortunate. But it all paid off in race 2. You went from last to first, actually. Reverse grid pole. No, sorry. Last in race 1, and then from pole to race win in race 2. Very, very good battling between you and Alex Day for most of the race. Some very, very great overtakes. You seemed very fond of taking the inside line on him through turn 2.
Well, my main hope was trying to get a marquee podium for once, because he's always in the back. And then, Alex always had never defended the inside, so I just kept on diving the inside.
anything else you would like to say? For example, the next race will be at Indianapolis. Well, are you excited for that?
Yeah. Can't wait to put someone in the wall.
Save it, brother, save it. And I know a couple of drivers expressed their dissatisfaction with this track. Are you one of them, or did you enjoy this track?
The fast handwriter, the green curb wasn't needed, I would say.
The sausage curb on the inside of the
Yeah, was not needed.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people get caught out there during the stream. Very
When
unfortunate.
practicing, it kept on, what is it? You could flip your car over every time, so it wasn't necessary or pleasant.
Yeah. Well, either way, I would like to congratulate you on your victory in race 2, Alfie. I don't know if you heard the stream, but as it stands, with your win in the race 2 of today's round, Thailand now has 100%, yeah, 2 drivers, and both of them have won a GPVWC event, so 100% of race wins for their drivers. I don't think any other country has that.
Felt like Alex moved under braking. I'm just trying to look right now.
Well, I think that's definitely something that the DC would look into more than us commentators, but yeah. Kert, do you have any questions for Alfie here?
Alfie, I just love to that I'm a big fan of you. What you did in turn 2, like every lap, that's just cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I mean, I've done it in Spa last year and it kept on working, so I just tried it this year because you could dive bomb.
Yeah, keep up the consistency.
Try not to take anyone out this time.
But yeah, Alfie Donnelly, congratulations on the race 2 victory, and I think with this, hopefully, you get that long-awaited academy seat in FS2, and hopefully we see you at Indianapolis in both series if we're lucky enough.
Why is Alex Lahori waiting for an interview?
We got the wrong Alex. We have Loic Meunier as well. Let's go.
Oh,
Either way, thank you for
Please now want to interview as well, mate.
thank you for joining us in the interview room,
Thank you.
Alfie. Have a good day.
Okay. Bye.
Goodbye.
should we get them all now?
No, would be funny, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I think Toby Davis won't like it.
Yeah, but let's hear from the
Day.
actual Alex that competed today, Alex Day. And we are joined here by Alex Day for the interviews. Alex, how are you feeling after today? After everything?
Not the best. The pole position, that was good. But the rest was bad.
Yeah, you had your qualifying performance today was exceptional. You were 2/10 up on P2 if I remember correctly. But unfortunately, race start just wasn't great for you. What happened there?
I don't know. I think I didn't.
And he's lost connection.
Oh no.
Well, fortunately that didn't happen in the race, so...
Yeah, he was that fortunate, but not not that fortunate to make an interview.
I wonder will he be rejoining or is he just gone?
Yeah, I don't know. Should we wait or?
I don't know.
Let's hear what Remco thinks. Oh, Alex is back.
Oh, he's back. Let's get him back in.
My fault.
Good internet, good internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, race 1 start didn't go exactly to plan. I mean, losing a position on the start isn't exactly the worst thing. It happens to drivers very often. But what happened with the spin on lap
I
1?
think just following in that corner in dirty air is just pain. because it's an uphill with bad traction already, and when you're in dirty, it just makes it that much harder.
I know a lot of drivers have complained about the track in general, and mostly turn 12. I know Alfie Denley said that the inside of turn 12 had an unnecessary sausage curb.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And speaking of Alfie Denley, you two had a very great battle for most of the race, for the lead. Unfortunately, a bit of contact there, and you only managed to get P4 in the end. But did you enjoy your battle with Alfie, and did you enjoy your race too?
Yeah, up until that point it was good, but I kind of ruined everything, including I could have had a win to be fair, but now Kanye Mellon has more wins than me, which I'm devastated about.
Kanye Mellon, Haruki Jr.
Yep.
Bringing Roblox usernames into here. Crazy.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, bro.
But either way,
I love it.
apart from turn 12, I know a lot of people express dissatisfaction with the track. Are you one of them as well, or did you enjoy the track overall, not just?
Yeah, overall, like 50-50. For quali, it was really good. It was really fun if you hooked it up, but there was basically zero overtaking spots except for turn 1, which was already really dangerous. I tried it many times. It worked because Alfie has a brain, but if you do with someone who doesn't have a brain, you're just gonna die both. It's there's like one overtaking spot, so it's pretty dumb for racing, but it's fine.
And the next race, a bit of a different track, Indianapolis Road Course. Are you excited for that? Do you think you'll be able to? No, you don't think you'll be able to get that win finally?
If I practice, but probably won't because I just despise this track. Don't like Indianapolis. But I'm pretty sure there's a reason why F1 stopped racing on it.
Yeah, and
in my opinion, we should use the half of the oval as well.
I think we should do only the oval.
Yeah. 500 laps of academy.
Yeah, exactly.
don't know who'll lose sanity first.
If the commentators or the drivers.
Yeah. No, I think
Race director.
I think there's better replacements for Indianapolis. I think it's going to be fun, but at the same time, it's going to be pretty annoying.
1966 Belgium. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Either way, Alex, Dave, thank you for joining us in the race today, and thank you for joining us in the interview room. And hopefully we see you at Indianapolis, and hopefully we see you in FS2 soon as well, because I did mention, I do think that your performances recently have been very, very impressive, and I think it's not far from possible, personally.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Goodbye, Alex.
See you.
Goodbye.
And I think that's everyone. I don't see anyone else who competed in today's race waiting for an interview.
There's a lot of people in interview wait room.
Yeah. But yeah. Final thoughts on the race, Kert?
Interesting. Qualifying wasn't so interesting. Really dominant drive from Alex Day from there, but yeah, really unlucky what happened in the races. But yeah, excluding the qualifying, both races were quite interesting. But so yeah, overall, the round 7 of Academy was really interesting to follow, and yeah, I enjoyed commentating it tonight.
And I would agree, I very much enjoyed being here in the commentary booth today. I think I enjoyed being here more than I would have enjoyed being on track. And yeah, very interesting 2 races. Very dominant drive from Victor Bernat in the first race. Very good battle for P1 between 3, almost 4 drivers in race 2. And hopefully we see more of that in the next round at Indianapolis, which will be on... I forgot the date, let me check really quickly. It will be on May 19th.
Oh, we don't have a break yet, okay.
No, I think the break comes after Indianapolis. Because, yes, the spring break comes after Indianapolis. We will have Indianapolis on May 19th, and then the spring break comes, and the two confirmed rounds for now are the Canadian Grand Prix at Montreal on June 16th, and Donington Park for the British Grand Prix on June 30th.
So yeah, really interesting rounds to come.
I think all three rounds will be fairly interesting. I think, unfortunately, as much as I love Donington, it will be the least interesting round. I think it's the tightest track with arguably the least overtaking options. But I still think that it will produce a pretty good race. Academy always produces surprises, so I think it's not out of the question that Donington will cook something up that will be fairly memorable, hopefully for all the right reasons as opposed to all the wrong reasons. And hopefully I'll be there as well. Unfortunately, I will not be able to be present at Montreal due to commitments outside of GPVWC. As for Indianapolis, still uncertain. But yeah, hopefully I will be seeing you there. I'm fairly certain that Kert will be seeing you there. And yeah, until Indianapolis in 2 weeks' time, I have been Lorenzo Terovic-Vuncic, joining Kert Rohtjarv with Camerawork by the lovely Remco de Zeeuw. And I do hope you enjoyed today's Spanish Grand Prix of GPVWC's Academy Series, and I hope you all have a good rest of the day.
Yep, have a good night and see you in 2 weeks.